Oh, hello everyone.
Hello, everybody.
I'm Jamie,
And I'm Crystal.
and we're so happy that you're here today. Again,
Yes.
welcome back. This is episode 6. Oh,
6.
see, I'm like wiggling my
Yeah.
camera around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shaking and dancing.
need a
Episode
more
6 already.
need a more professional setup here.
No, we're doing the best we can.
For sure. So, should we start with a word?
Yeah.
And maybe it'll give into what we're going to be chatting about today.
Again, I didn't flip to it. Where are we
So,
going first?
we're in 2 Corinthians 12.
Okay, ready when you are. My hair just it's just ready when you are. And my bang went like this.
And I missed it.
You did. I may leave that in.
Okay, so we're in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9. But he said to me, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. For the sake of Christ, then I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong." Amen.
Amen.
So it's just one of those weeks, days that, it's just one of them days that a girl goes through. Um,
You're always breaking out in song.
yeah. So I think we're going to chat about some mom guilt, which also coincides with speaking life to people. So I guess I could start with, for me, yesterday. I was just waking up feeling annoyed immediately, set my feet on the ground, and I'm like, bleh. I prayed. I definitely prayed because I I know that I should be starting my day off that way, which I don't always start my day off with prayer. Um, I kind of just like it's always a thought to me. Like I'm always thinking about Jesus and things like that, but I'm not always first thing praying. Anyway, so I did start my day off with prayer, but with prayer, you need to also take action yourself and, you know, actually come with an open heart and ready to do the work that you're praying for. And I mean, I was convicted a few times yesterday throughout my day of raging. I mean, I didn't rage. That's a lie. I didn't rage, which is a good thing. So that's a improvement for me because my raginess can get crazy sometimes, and it's something I've had to work on a lot. So, I wake up asking the Lord to guide me through my day, to, find moments that I can speak life to my girls and, everyone else around me. And yeah, I don't know. School, being a homeschool parent, it gets rough sometimes when you have those days that you're just like not wanting to deal with anything really. And I was snappy. I'm like, why do you keep getting this wrong? This is ridiculous. Like losing my patience when because I know that they could do the work, so I'm just like, this is ridiculous. I had to apologize several times yesterday for it. I'm like Addie's in tears, and I'm just like, I'm a monster. I'm an absolute monster. That's how I felt, and I'm like, "I'm sorry, baby. I know that you know this stuff, and I just get frustrated, and I'm like, you're so smart. You just have to take your time, to read the work and all those things." So I'm like speaking life into her, but I still just feel so awful letting myself go that way that I'm making my baby girl cry. Like, and I'm like, it's so frustrating that, we're 6 years into homeschooling now and sometimes it's easier than was initially, but it's still hard, to be
Yeah, of
the
course.
one doing all of it and, like, I already went to school. I don't wa I don't wanna do
I don't
school.
wanna do this again. Yeah.
Like, I'm in 5th grade too right now with them, and so it just there's some days that I don't wanna go to school either, but I know that we have to, and we take plenty of breaks too. It's like when we were in Jersey, and that was, like, Christmas break had come, and, like, we just were not doing school from the week before Christmas maybe, all the way till, like, the week after we got back from visiting you guys. So, I'm like, that's such a long time to go. Anyway, I don't even know, like, what to do. I mean, I know what to do during those times, the frustrations and all those things, but it's still hard.
Yeah. I think regardless of how difficult it gets, the most important thing, and I feel like I say it to you often, like, the most important thing is that you're apologizing so I can see even you make mistakes and nobody's expected to be perfect because that's just not the reality of things. So even when you make a mistake, you apologize and, you know, you strive to do better. I think as long as you're making the conscious effort, plus they're going to get there too when they have their own kids and they have those times monthly where they are feeling the overwhelm, the anger, the uncontrollable, whatever. I guarantee like they'll like look back and be like, oh, okay, like this is what mom felt, or I remember like mom would have wanted it to be this way, or, something like that. So none of these moments are going to be like anything negative.
It's just frustrating because being so aware of what's happening in the moment too, and I'm like, "Stop, stop," but no, it's just like word vomit, and it's
Yeah.
so annoying. I don't wanna do it. Like, I don't
Yeah.
wanna do it. I'm like, "Jamie, why? What is the point? Why like, what is the point? There's no point to getting upset over a math problem."
But we're
And
only human.
yeah, I know, I know that, but that's the thing that always gets me is that we're constantly making excuses for,
That's true too.
the things that we do. And I don't want to do that. I know better, and I
Yeah.
hate falling short. I hate that. Like, I wanna
Yeah.
be Jesus. I wanna be like Jesus. I don't wanna, like I'm
I
like
want to be like
I'm
Jesus.
just raging right now. Oh my gosh.
I have a verse I need to bring up in Romans, for I do not understand my own actions, for I do not do what I want, but I do the very thing I hate. And then also a
Oh,
few
yeah.
verses later, it says, "For I do not do the good I want, but the evil I do not want is what I keep on doing."
Oh,
So
yes.
yeah, like
It's
it's like
exactly
that
right.
constant war between
Yeah.
the flesh and then
Yeah. I feel like
like the spirit.
I feel like this part of me is my biggest issue. The most thing that I have to work on, and I'm aware of it, so that's a good thing to be aware of it, and I could talk to
Definitely,
God about it and rebuke it and all of those things. But man, it's frustrating because my girls don't deserve that at all. They're just like the sweetest little babies. Yeah, I just needed to get better. I need to get better.
I think just the biggest thing would be like taking a pause. I think that's like the answer for a lot of those things is just like stepping back and just being, I just need a second. You don't have to give like an explanation. But I feel like for me, that I've been doing that so much lately. Like when she's crying and guys trying to ask me a question and the dogs are barking, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
literally just need a second. And I'll like lock myself. Now I understand like all the moms on Instagram who are locking themselves with a pack of Oreos in the bathroom just to have a second to breathe. Like I understand all that now. But I feel like so much can come from just like taking a step back.
It's so funny because you're in that moment now with, like, the dogs and the kids, like, all this stuff, and I was there a few years ago, and I feel like I don't even know what your thought process was when I would be ranting about my dogs driving me crazy, and you were,
Uh-huh.
like, in this obsession with yours at that point,
Mhm.
and you were probably like, "You evil, like, little thing,"
I
like,
would never think that way. It's but I
but I'm
also
like, now you're
understood.
seeing it a little bit more, that I'm like, I
Yeah.
love them so much, and they have no idea that they're driving us insane, like, they don't know,
Yeah,
they're just
no,
babies.
they're just like, "I'm just here to love you."
Yeah,
You know,
I just
there's
love you, mom.
yeah, like,
I'm
there's
so
nothing.
excited, like, Ollie's
Yeah.
parkouring on the couch everywhere, making me nuts.
They're
And I'm
just, like,
just
so
like,
happy to be
I'm
alive, and
getting
we're like, "Ah!"
yeah, I'm overstimulated. I'm like, I just woke up, like,
Yeah,
gosh. Oh my gosh. That's
they're
so
so cute,
funny
but
though.
there's, like, the 2 things with actually both the dogs and the babies, which I guess could still work for you because 'cause they're still little, but, like, I always saw things that were like, you may be stressed out after a full day of work and you just come home and, like, you just wanna relax, but then on the other side of it, the dogs have waited all day to just
Oh,
see you.
yeah.
You know, and, like, you walk through the door and they're like, "My life is complete. My human is here."
So
And
sweet.
you're like, "Oh my gosh, get away. I need a break." They're like, "Woo!" You know, they're, like, so excited. So
Yeah.
that made me change, like, my mindset, and then when Peachy was going through, like, craziness, when I would have to rock her and, like, put her to sleep and stuff, which we don't have to do that anymore, um I kept seeing things like when you're overstimulated, look at how small their hands are and like look at
Oh,
their little toes. Like remind yourself they're so little. They don't have control over,
yeah.
whatever they're doing that's overstimulating you and you're the bigger person. It's your job. And that doesn't make it like that doesn't prevent it from
Yeah.
happening but it makes it a little bit easier because then it almost like I don't know, like you humble yourself. You're like, "Oh, okay, wait. It's like a reset."
Yeah. I do think that way often because 'cause I'm like, they're literally in this world for almost 11 years now. Blech.
I
And,
know.
I think, I'm 40 and I can't get it together. How can I expect them to
Yeah.
get it together? I'm, like,
That.
freaking going insane, and how
Yeah.
can I expect them to regulate their emotions if I can't even do it?
Literally that.
Oh,
Yes.
and they do it better than I do, to be honest. Like, they get over things so easy, like, they're, raging at each other for a second over something stupid, and then they're, like, over it 2 seconds later. I'm like, "Do you guys even realize what just happened? Like, you guys were just so frustrated with each other, or one of them being frustrated with the other, and then all of a sudden, they forget anything that happened, like, literally 2 seconds later," and I'm like, "Hello?" Can I get
Yeah.
a little bit of
That's a
that? Like,
that's a huge thing.
yesterday, you won't even believe this. You're not gonna believe this. So, the
I feel
girls
like I
have
probably will.
little. Huh?
I said, "I feel like I probably will because your
No.
children are." Go ahead. Okay, go.
No, this is why you're not gonna believe it. So,
Oh,
yesterday, they have little alarm clocks, these little, like, vintage looking clocks, and they do their little alarm, whatever, and, apparently Bridget had set both the alarm clocks to go off to irritate Addison, to get Addison to get up because Bridget's always up first. And Addison threw the alarm clock across the
no.
room. Yes. And she put a dent in the wall.
Oh my gosh.
And so
What?
like, I was, not able to get because I hear things going on in the monitor. And I open my door to, like, they're right across from me, and Addie is you scared me because she's walking down the hall out of the room at this point. It was probably, like, 5 minutes later or something after this had happened, and I'm like, "What's going on? What happened?" And she goes, Oh, like, it's as if she, like, forgot completely. She was, like, in a great mood already, and I'm
She
like,
got her anger out. That was it.
"Hello? Like, what just happened
Oh my
here?"
gosh.
Yeah, so she had to write 30 times, "I will not throw things in anger."
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. How does she deal with that? Like, does
fine.
she handle that? I figured, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she was apologetic, she was a little weepy, and I'm like, "You can't throw things in anger because you could hurt somebody."
Yeah.
So, uh and I'm like, "What if, you hit Bridget with that? That would have hurt her really bad." And Bridget's like, "Mom, I don't think I was by it when she threw it. I don't think I." I'm like, "How do you not know?" I'm, like, so confused. "I don't think I was there, Mom. I think I was, like, standing over here." I'm like, "Okay, whatever."
Oh,
But
because
yeah,
she's
that
trying to have her
happened.
back and make it sound like not it wouldn't have been
Always.
so bad.
Oh my gosh, always.
Yeah.
They're so
Oh,
crazy. They're so
I
funny.
I love that you're sharing this story because this will lead me to what I just told you before the podcast is that a friend of mine who is a listener now because she's super supportive, she mentioned we went for coffee at a mama meetup this week and she was like, she loves the podcast, which thank you so much. And she was like, but your friend Jamie I don't know if she said makes me feel like crap or makes me feel like I'm not doing like, I don't know exactly the words.
I'm so sorry.
Maybe maybe it wasn't that strong, but I just remember, like, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, that's not what we're trying to do here." But she was like, "You know, they don't have screen time, it's only, like, 2 days a week," and I'm like, "That's not the point of this." I rant and rave about how perfect her children are.
You do. If anything,
I
you're the
really
one
do.
that makes it seem like this perfect little
Yeah,
world.
yeah, but they're obviously real children, and I wanted it to be, like, a reminder in this podcast that, like, comparison thingy, especially between moms, is a no-no,
Yeah.
and it is not easy to not do it. I do it all the time, but I feel like it's so important to not compare at all. Especially because you don't know what stage somebody else is in or where they came from compared to where they are now. So, if you're listening, you are not failing.
Yeah, because I'm honestly, that's a thing, I mean, that we've been doing for it's been a few years now that they are really limited with screen, but I it was not that way, and I'm, like, horrified looking back at videos because obviously we have tons of videos and pictures of our kids, and I'm looking back and they're, like, a year old drinking their bottles in their little bouncers watching a show, and I'm like, "What was I doing?" Ah! Like, I don't like that for me now,
Yeah.
But at the time, I think Hector was probably deployed, and I was just, like, tired, and,
Yeah.
that's what happens, and, I mean, yeah. Comparison is the devil, though, like, you cannot be doing stuff like that, and there I mean, even there could be I don't know if she's, like, telling herself that she's not a good mom or something like that, like, I have no idea, but I know that there are women out there who will think those things, but those are lies, and they literally come from the father of lies, and you cannot believe those things. Rebuke that in the name of Jesus Christ because it's not true, and your kid doesn't want any other mom but you.
Yeah.
You know? Like, these girls my girls are like, "You're just" every kid says that to their mom, you're the best mom. My mom's the best," and things like that. I remember, one of my it was the sweetest thing. One of my Sunday school girls, she got so upset because my girls were saying, "My mom's the best mom," and she was like, "I feel like you're saying that my mom's not the best or something, like, my mom's the best though," and I'm like, "No,
Oh,
baby," I'm like, "You think your mom is the best for you, like, that's your mom, she is the best. You couldn't get any better than her because she's meant to be your mom," and so, it's just so sweet. What a memory to think about. That was this
that
cutest little thing. I'm like, "Oh,
is
you're
super
breaking my
sweet.
heart." Your babies do not want anyone else.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's that comparison thing. I think it's like, what is it? The thief of joy? Is that like what that quote is?
yeah.
Comparison is
Yeah,
the thief of joy.
but I also do wanna say that hearing about me and how we do things here, that could be something that is convicting you also, like, it could be something that's been nagging at you, I don't know,
Yeah.
that you're like, "Oh, maybe they're watching too much TV, I need to scale back," and, like, you could always do that. It's okay to change things, it's hard sometimes, but it's okay to do it, and it's better to do it now than later because I feel like the more they get used to having things a certain way, the harder it is to take it away. I mean, that could be it. You're
Yeah,
feeling
definitely.
a little, conviction, maybe.
Yeah, to try it out, especially if it's, needed. It's hard though because I mean, she's so little still. So I don't and I only have one obviously. So I mean, it's hard cuz I don't know if I've mentioned it, like we're definitely a TV house. So there's no way she's never going to not see a screen because it is what it is. Guys like watching TV, he's on his phone, he's got his iPad. We're a screen house. But I don't wanna set her up in front of the TV.
Yeah,
That's my goal, but I can 100% understand why, like, when if Hector was deployed and you have 2 babies and you always had 3 dogs, no?
yeah,
So to set them in front of the TV with their bottle, to just have a moment to either collect yourself or to try to accomplish something else, I understand all of that, like, so there is no judging. At least from us, 100%, like, we're not judging anybody who's doing those things.
yeah,
But, yeah, like, if you are feeling some type of way about that, that may be, like you said, like, a little, like, nudge to be like, "Hey, try this."
yeah,
It's scary to think about having to change that. The whole, transition of going from having screens to no screens is going to be brutal, and you'll probably wanna give up, and you may give up and have to start over again. But if I would just say try it if you're feeling any kind of way, but the point is do not compare. Let's
yeah,
all try not to compare in all aspects of mommyhood. We're all just
yeah,
trying to do the best we can, and it's gonna be different. Everybody's journey is gonna be different. Where screens may work perfectly for a family and not for some, we're all doing the best we can to be the best mommies for our babies.
yeah. There's just so much to worry about in the world. There's
Yeah.
constantly things that are, being put in front of us that can make us stumble, and we don't wanna do any of that. There's too much already, so we don't want to be a stumbling block for anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard enough out there.
It really is. Um,
So what else mom guilt wise? 'Cause I know mom guilt I feel like it's like a trendy thing, but it's a very real thing.
I
So,
mean,
like
for me, the most part is the just snapping at them with
yeah.
school. It's usually school stuff. It's always to do with school. I can't think of another time where I'm, like, being unreasonable with them other than school stuff.
Yeah. And you're taking on that role of teacher on top of mama. No? So, that's extra pressure.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Um,
do that. We couldn't handle that when Hudson had when we went through COVID and
yeah.
everybody had to we were like, "This" that's like a posit positivity that's a positive thing about wow, words are hard.
Yeah.
About
Kendra
about COVID.
reminded me about words being hard in the text that she sent us with
I
the
know, tiny theologians. It's
how did I
literally
say
my
it? Theologians?
theologian. I love that. That's my favorite. But
Theologian.
a theologian, that's it. Um, I think during COVID, we were able to, like, really see the responsibility that teachers have, so, like, that's really cool that we were able to see that, but we were also experiencing, like, the difficulty of that too as regular parents who don't do the homeschool thing.
I
So,
do
you
wanna say
signing up.
that's different, though. That
Yeah,
time was so different for people because it was, like,
yeah,
being thrown into that, no preparation, and it was just not even the school systems were prepared for something like that. So,
yeah,
it was just a mess. Homeschooling is not like that. It's like, we can go at our own pace. We don't have to, like, follow I mean, I guess it depends again where you're living too, but there's no rules to follow and things like that. Me, I follow a curriculum. Like I'm very like I need things to be a certain way. So for me, I'm not that little like, woo, let's just go. I think we said this before that I'm not just like, let's go
yeah,
outside and learn. Like, no, I'm like,
yeah,
we're doing math and language, like we're doing this stuff. Okay. Um, so yeah, it's very different. But the most important thing that I keep remembering and like reminding myself of is that my foundation is in Christ and the way that I react to things with them, even though I may act in an incorrect manner, I correct myself in a Christ like manner. And so
yeah,
that my foundation is Christ and their foundation will be the same too. And it is, but I mean, as they're getting older and then starting their own family and everything, my hope is that, like you said, they did see a mom that wasn't perfect, but she did her best and their foundation will be stronger than mine was. My hope is that they're better off than I have been. I
yeah,
mean, I know life is not gonna be without trials because God tells us that we're gonna go through it, and especially as Christians, like, the spiritual warfare is insanity, but the one who is on our side is stronger, and he can handle all of that stuff. So, God doesn't give us anything that he can't handle. That's what I like to say, because there's that saying is that God doesn't give you anything you can't handle, but it's not true. He doesn't give us anything that he can't handle.
yeah, that's right, because we're not designed to handle it by ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
I
how
never
about
thought of
you?
it.
Oh, yeah. That's because the saying is like he won't give you anything you can't handle. Like he gives us plenty that we can't handle and that's the point because it gets to show his power and his grace, his mercy that we couldn't do anything without him.
Without it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's one of your golden nuggets. You have a lot of those that, like, pop in through these podcasts, I'm noticing, and I have to, like, put them in, like, the show notes. Um, yeah, I have to maybe send that to my dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
But how
was you
about
gonna say?
you? Are you feeling mama guilt with the bebe?
The bebe? Yes. I mean, definitely, I have had those moments where I'm like, I lose my patience with her, and I like to think, a patient person. And there have been maybe 2 or 3 times where even guys like, "Well, like, I've never seen you be like this." Like, I have her step away, and I'm not, like, so, like, "Rah," like, so, like, super
Not like
crazy.
me?
No, I'm not like you.
I'm like,
Uh,
"Arr."
yeah, like, I just am like, I'm "You're driving me crazy." Like, I cannot, I'm gonna lose my mind, and he's like, "Okay." There was one time in the middle of the night when she was like, whenever we were going through the thing, like, I couldn't breastfeed anymore and, like, she wasn't sleeping, and obviously, moms, it's rough when they're little. We all know that, and, the not sleeping thing, and I'm just, like, in the middle of the night, I'm like, "What?" Like, "I don't know what to do for you. I don't know." And guy's like, "Babe, she's just a baby." And I'm like, then immediately I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I know, I'm so sorry." Like, I don't know what that was, but I feel like you just not that it excuses it, but you can help it in those moments sometimes. There's so much going on. But yeah, like the patience and snapping. But I think the biggest thing is the like being present, which I've definitely gotten better because, like I've mentioned, praying about not wanting to have to feel like I need to post something all the time and being
Yeah.
sucked into my phone. So being present was a big thing for me because I felt myself rushing to get to nap time. I'm like, I waited my entire life for this child. And here I am, like, watching the clock, like, okay, we have 5 minutes. Okay, we have 4 minutes. Like, for what? So
Oh,
I can go scroll on Instagram and watch somebody else, like, a reel of how much they love their child. I'm like, this is like deranged. I don't know. Like, something is like, I don't know, something is not right. So that's probably like the biggest thing. Oh, and not being physically present. Like, going to get my hair done or my nails or, like, having, like, a moment for myself. I don't want any moments for myself, so
yeah.
that's hard for me, but I know that that's important to do, like, self-care, self-love, that whole thing,
Mm,
but it's hard for me.
yeah. When you mentioned counting down the minutes for nap time, I remember those days though, because it wasn't to scroll really, because I don't feel like that was that big of a thing then. It was more like I was probably editing some pictures or doing something like for brand repping, like whatever. But it was just like I needed a moment alone. And
Yeah.
it's okay. It is okay. I prayed desperately for these girls too. Like it was, I think, 7 years, that we had been trying at that point, and you know, they were my greatest blessings, and same as Peachy for you, but it's
Yeah.
okay for us to wanna break, but not to, like, do the doom scrolling. That's probably not healthy for
Yeah.
us, and then you're making such a good point that you're, like, looking at these reels of, like, "Oh, look how precious. She just loves her baby so much."
Yeah, and then it's like, "Wait a
I'm
second,
like,
I also
"Go
have
to
one
go
of
take a
those."
nap." Naps
Yeah.
didn't last long for me at all. I think that they were done napping by 2. Yeah,
Like, completely, like, no naps?
yeah. But
Oh
I
my
wasn't
god.
even in that moment to like, I didn't even think to just keep trying or anything. I was just like, "All right, whatever."
We're done, we're gonna just roll with it.
Yeah, I think so. I really don't think they were that old, because they started just being stinkers. Like, I have videos of, like, Addison, climbing into Bridget's crib because we had them close together once we separated them because they were in one crib for a long time together. And we separated them, and I was just watching videos the other day of it, like, Addie is just she's a monkey. She just always has been on the go. She started walking at 9 months old, if that tells you anything about her. She's crazy. Um, and so yeah, it was one night that she had climbed into I'm watching on the monitor, obviously. She climbs in, and I went in there. I got her out, put her back in her crib, and a minute later, she was back in there again. So it's like,
I
what
was
do
like,
you
"That's
do?
how we're designed, mama."
Yeah, and they're just partying. They're walking around their crib together like, "Hey!" I walk in, and they're like, "What's up, mom?" Like, they're just these little one-year-old little stinkers. But
Oh.
yeah, naps didn't last long. So I say, cherish that alone time, and also that time, like, at nighttime, because I know you miss her so much when she goes to bed, and I feel the same way with the girls too, even now, like, sometimes I'm like, "Ah, I miss them," and it's important to have that time together too.
Yeah, definitely, like, when we moved her finally to her room, because she was sleeping with us until, I don't know, 3 months. Like, the bassinet thing wasn't really a thing because I would just move her into the bed and, like, nurse her, and then she would just kinda stay there, and then eventually she obviously she grows, babies do grow. So she got a little bit bigger and then the space because I sleep guy says I sleep like a seahorse. I guess I bend in funny ways. I don't really know. Um, so there just wasn't a lot of room. And then we were worried about keeping him up for work. So he ended up moving into Giovanni's room. And then it was just Peachy and me in the bedroom. And while I really missed Guy, I was thinking like, oh my gosh, like we're never gonna have the time together again. Like this is it because everybody's always like, you better move her out of the she's gotta be in her own room. You're gonna create a monster. That's gonna be it. Gonna be in your bed until she's, 7, 8, 9. And that's like what I had constantly. I'm like, so it's mom guilt in that way too. I'm like, I'm doing everything wrong. I'm setting her up for failure. I'm setting us up for marriage issues, the constant hearing from everybody on the internet. But then 9 months, we went to her doctor, and her doctor also said, "You gotta get her out. You have to get her out." I'm like, "Ooh." But we did, and we moved her into her own room, and although it was a little bit rough the first 2 nights, she did a little bit of crying, and I'm not for the whole cry it out thing.
Yeah.
Um, she has slept in her room every single night ever since. Lord, please don't. I don't wanna say knock on wood because I don't know if I can do that anymore. That's like a suspicious thing, right?
Yeah, I guess
Okay,
so,
so
yeah.
Jesus, please help me make sure that continues. She's been great. And it's almost now while Guy and I have that time together, like we play games in bed at night, like we're like Pictionary on Netflix, like we're like kids. It's cute.
It's so cute.
Yeah. Like I love that. But then I'm sleeping with the onesie that she drooled on all day long because I miss her. Or like her stuffed animals, because then I'm like, I feel so guilty. Like now she's not with me, but she
Yeah.
obviously doesn't, need me.
Well,
I don't know. There's constant
she needs you.
yeah.
It's
I feel like
constant,
there's
the
just
mom
constant
guilt, it's
mom guilt.
just
It really
stupid.
is.
It's so
Yeah.
stupid.
And in every stage, in every way, there's just mom guilt for what you do and what you don't do.
I mean, you can't even let people dictate what you do with your children, like and this goes
No.
back with the whole thing with your friend, like, the screen stuff. Like, you do what you wanna do. Like, I don't know. I like babies are meant to be with their parents. Like it was a little bit easier for me to put the girls into their own room because they had each other and their comfort was probably each other before like even me. Like they comforted each other and like I mean Addison fell asleep with pacifying herself with Bridget's foot in her mouth. Like,
Oh my gosh.
the cutest thing in the world. And I so that was not I don't think I don't know. I was probably sad because I would be there watching them, but they were never in bed with us. But yeah,
Well, them having that bond is like another like, you saying, like, you were, like, watching them, like, that is in the beginning why selfishly I didn't want to have another baby because 'cause I'm like, I want Georgia to myself. Like, I
mm,
don't want her to have a sibling to go to, and I realize obviously saying that now it sounds bad, but when you like, first having her, I'm like, "No, like, she's mine." Like, I didn't even want her to come out of my belly because I wanted her to myself. Like, that's a real thought. So anybody who has experienced that like, after you have a baby and you're like, "Oh, now I have to actually share this child with the world," and you
yeah.
don't like that feeling, like, it is so real, and I did not feel guilty about that, like, I wanted her to myself, but, yeah, now, like, knowing, like, they have that bond, and that's, like, so sweet, and more and more, I'm, like, imagining, like, Peachy going into her little maybe one day, like, maybe, like, her little sister's crib and, or maybe, like, lifting her out of the crib and bringing her into her bed or something, like, having that sibling bond.
Aw.
But then there's the mom guilt of Peachy not being my only one. So it's just mom guilt. We're just guilty at all times. We're never free of it.
Oh. I'm, like, thinking about when Hector was deployed and Bridget was having such a hard time, and I was exhausted because I would have to get out of bed constantly, and I would have to hold her hand. She would not go to sleep. And finally, like, after, like, the 3rd time of me having to get up, I'd just bring her to my bed, and she would just sleep with me, and it would be such a good night of sleep, and then she would always say that she was doing it for me so I wouldn't be alone.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, and, like, even years later, she'd be like
Seriously?
she would say, "Remember, mama, that I would sleep with you when daddy was deployed so you wouldn't be alone?" I'm like, "Yeah, baby, I remember. That was totally
You
for
have to
me."
warn me with stories like that.
She is
That
so
is so
sweet.
cute.
Yeah. But that was so sweet. I loved actually having her in bed with me. It was really nice. And Addie, we tried a couple times to have Addie there with us too, and she's like, "I'm going to my bed." She's like this little stinky 5-year-old, like, "I'm going to bed," like, however she would talk.
Aw.
I can't be in here. But, yeah,
Wow.
Me and B, we would just snuggle. That was sweet.
Can't wait, like, and when I tell Guy, like, I'm so upset, like, because obviously there was a last, like, people don't they talk about the first all the
Yeah,
time, but that
yeah,
also means, like, there's a last,
yeah,
and I'm like, it was, like, the last time I was probably complaining saying, like, "We're never gonna, like, sleep together in the same bed," and then, like, the next day, we did.
yep,
There was one of those times, so I'm, like, always upset about that, but he's like, "There's gonna be a time when she's 2, 3, 4, where she's in the bed with us. Like, you're gonna be able to, like,
yeah,
squeeze her again,"
yep,
and where I'm always worried, like, I don't wanna create a bad habit. And again, if you co-sleep, I don't wanna say that what you're doing is bad, I don't mean it that way.
no,
But I just don't wanna I value Guy and my space. I value our space together. As much as I want Georgia to be there, I would like to not have it all the time, you know?
yeah.
But I
Um
am one day
But
to
yeah,
squeeze
definitely.
her.
It's definitely going to happen again because even I think it was just a few weeks ago that I was telling you Bridget slept
Yeah,
with us. So,
yeah.
yeah. And she just so willingly comes into bed and she's like so happy about it. Like she loves vacation time when we're, you know, sharing a bed, like, if there's one, like, king bed, and she just loves it. Addie, not so much, she really likes her own space, which is a lot like me. The only one I feel like Addie does not need that much space from is me,
Mhm,
and, like, she is constantly wanting to cuddle with me, and oh, there's another mom guilt that pops into my head. I am not the biggest touchy, feely person. I don't like, um being touched too much, like little I think it's, I don't know, a sensory type thing.
mhm.
Um, like if I have any feather touches on me, like so little movements, I'm like, ugh, like it just like gets to me. And I'm constantly having to remind myself, oh my gosh, Jamie, you're being so nasty. Like this is your daughter and she just wants to snuggle into you and everything. And like I need to it can't just be her, like, leaning her head on me, like, I have to actually hold her and, like, force her harder onto me, so I'm not getting those, like, little feather touches and
Light
stuff,
ones, yeah.
because it just makes me like, ugh, makes me crazy. Too much movement makes me crazy, like yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Too much movement, like, if they were sleeping in the bed would make me crazy. There
Yeah,
were some times
that
I've had
never
someone lay there.
I don't know, that's and Bridget's a kind of wild sleeper,
Mhm.
but that doesn't bother me. I don't know.
So you can get kicked in the face during sleep, but you can't get
Yeah, because I guess because a kick is would be rougher than a little
right.
feather touch. Yeah. I
Alright.
need, like,
I was
pressure, I
thinking had the
guess.
formula.
I don't know what it is, but I'm just like, "Ah, stop, stop, stop moving. Stop
Yeah.
doing that." "What? I'm just trying to get comfortable." This little sweet angel, and I'm like this was just
Yeah.
happening yesterday while we were reading our Bible because we read our Bible before bed in bed, in our bed, and she always, like, is snuggling up right next to me, and I'm like, "If you don't stop moving, you're gonna have to sit up straight. Stop it." And she's like, "Ugh, okay." And I'm like, "Stop it." Awful.
Monster, Jamie,
Monster.
monster.
I know.
Absolute.
It's so awful. And in
It
my
is
head
not
the whole
awful.
time it is in my head the whole time, I'm like, "Jamie, stop it, please stop it." And I don't
Yeah.
stop it. And I'm just there like trying to, like, calm myself.
You just have to grab her and squeeze her.
Yeah, but I was the problem was I was freezing last night. So I was like I had my comforter like this, like, I didn't do any of the reading yesterday because I couldn't, I was so cold. And, she kept, like, pulling the blanket in a certain way, and I'm like, "Stop. I feel air on my
I
arm."
feel air. I feel air. Yeah,
So
I
dramatic.
understand that.
I'm so dramatic, it's ridiculous. I am my mother's daughter. Hi, mom.
Hey, mom. Well, you realize that, and we just do better.
Trying,
Yeah.
trying. I know, I feel like we're just, like, ragging on ourselves and not, like, speaking life to ourselves here, like, I feel like we need a word because, man, it's just been constant ragging.
All right. Let's bring it up
Let's
now that
see.
we've beat ourselves down for
Let's lift
for an
ourselves
hour.
up in Christ Jesus. Um, let's get into it. Let's see. Romans 8:1. There is therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus, for the law of the Spirit of life has set you free in Christ Jesus from the law of sin and death. For God has done what the law, weakened by the flesh, could not do. By sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh and for sin, he condemned sin in the flesh, in order that the righteous requirement of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not according to the flesh, but according to the Spirit. Because, I mean, really, the this mom guilt stuff and actually how we do react poorly to them is sin. We're sinning against our children when we do these things. And so like another um I love this Bible passage in John 8 verse 34. And so Jesus said, "Truly, truly, I say to you, everyone who practices sin is a slave to sin. The slave does not remain in the house forever, the son remains forever. So if the son sets you free, you will be free indeed." There's so much peace in his word. It's really
Yeah.
nice. But it's true because it is, we are sinning against not only our children, but also against God when we react badly, when we don't have the fruit of the spirit. I don't even know
Right.
them all by heart. I should know them all by heart. I did Sunday school stuff, but my brain is terrible.
Why don't we could
Um,
do an episode diving into that too,
the fruit of the
because
spirit.
that's new for me. Like I see them all the time. Um, but yeah, that would be something fun to like dive into. I want to say really quick while you said like we are sinning against our children, for those of you who are like how I was in the beginning, hearing that may feel like heavy or like, oh my gosh, I'm terrible. And
Yeah.
again, make you want to like retreat and be like, see, this is why, I'm not going to do this because I can't be, it's like you don't want to be face to face with those words like, yeah, we're sinning against our children. Cause I think if you're like me, hearing the word sin, you go to extremes, like we said earlier in the episode, like the really, bad sins,
Yeah.
not just like the little small everyday things. So like when you think like we're sinners, you're like, no, I'm good because you don't think of all those little things. And just because we do those little things doesn't mean we're terrible, we're failing, like, we're an awful mom, we're an awful human. Just the whole point is to recognize it and just be called up to do better, to continue to, strive to be more like Jesus,
Yeah.
you know?
I feel like that kinda speaks to because yes, we are sinning against our children, but it's important of how we repent from that sin, so we're apologizing to them for what we've done, and it's important to remember that you're not always a dirtbag.
Yes.
So,
That is
we're
gonna be
not always
clips for
big
Instagram.
dirtbags, you know, but
Yeah.
we're making sure that we're speaking life into our children. We compliment them. Like, for example, I was frustrated with her yesterday with school, but I was also correcting myself and complimenting her. I was speaking life into her. Like, I know that you can do better because you're smart and I know you know this work. Like, I'm lifting her up in that way, not just like punching her down to the floor, like, why did you get this wrong? And so it's important that we remember that the small moments are impactful. They have large impacts for everyone, I think. Like, just a small compliment to someone can just brighten their life completely. It's not always just these huge, impactful moments that matter. It's the little stuff that I think matters even more.
Definitely that.
I keep thinking about when the girls were little and how, like, we would be at Costco or something, and they would literally just tell someone, "You're so pretty." Like, they would just, "Oh, I love this about," like, they would give them a compliment, and they've since stopped that. They stopped giving them away so freely, like, they're a little bit more reserved now when we're out, like, they don't go out of their way to talk to people randomly, but I remember one of them told this lady who was giving out samples, like, "You're so pretty," and she was I could tell that it, like, really impacted her, and it was just this little toddler telling her that, but she lit up like a Christmas tree, and I was just of course, I got weepy because 'cause I'm like, "My girls are so precious," and I always would tell them to make sure that you always are that way, like, you're always complimenting someone, letting them know something you like about them, and they do. They'll do that with people that they're probably more comfortable with, like, at church, they'll tell someone, "Oh, I like your, necklace or your dress." Like, it's just, like, sweet little things like that that it's a good practice to have. I'm like, I was more like that. Like, when they were doing that as babies, I'm like, "Why am I not doing stuff like that?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they just did it. I'm like, "I wasn't doing that. How did they know to do that stuff? I don't even know." They were just
I
like
feel like it makes a big difference because actually yesterday, I think it was, I had a family member who texted and said that they went to the grocery store and I guess they weren't bagging quick enough. They got a bag or they only had one bag. And the lady was like, "Do you have another bag?" And my family member took it as, like, "I'm sorry, I'm not going quick enough for you. This is the quickest I'm going," or "No, I only have this bag." Like, it was such an automatic, like, defense, you know? But
Yeah,
I kept the more I thought about it, and I actually texted them my whole family group chat this morning, and I don't wanna be, like, preachy, but
yeah,
now I feel such a lightness now, which I guess is the joy part of it,
yeah,
or, like, I wanna be giving people more grace, and in that situation, if they were to just be like, "No, this is the only bag I have," like, "I'm sorry, I'm going slower," or just saying like, "No, it's okay." Like, maybe she didn't mean it as like, "You're holding up the line here. Can you be quicker?" Like maybe she genuinely wanted to help you bag, like reframe your mindset or whatever. But just like if they were to handle that reaction a little bit differently,
yeah.
it could have changed the way they felt and it could have changed the way that the cashier felt. giving those little, I mean, it wouldn't have been a compliment, but just being mindful of the way you, like, interact with people and, like, speaking life into
Yeah,
everyday moments like that is so, I feel like, healing for everybody. Not only, like, the person that you're doing it to, and I'm sure the girls probably realize, like, maybe they made somebody's day, maybe they were too little to realize that it made them feel good too,
yeah,
but it does. When you do that, you speak life into somebody else and you give them compliments, or you change the way that you maybe heard their tone, or you have more grace for them. It makes you feel so much more joyous and so much lighter, you know?
yeah. Yeah, because speaking life isn't only compliments, it's, like, just speaking with kindness and things like that, and it now, like, thinking I'm thinking personally for me, when I am, um, what's the word? When I'm being, like, corrected for certain things. It
Is it
depends,
by
I guess,
me?
who's doing the correcting, no.
Okay.
But I think that um, we get defensive and we wanna, like, stomp our foot down into the ground and be like, "No, I'm not gonna stop doing that," kinda thing, but like, if you're feeling that, like, a little uncomfortable being corrected, it's because it probably is something that needs to be changed. You're feeling a conviction, and so yesterday, Hector was telling me that I really need to stop saying certain things to him in front of the girls, and he's completely right. But the way I say the things, it's not in, like, a serious manner, like, I'm not meaning to, like, put him down, it's, like, a joking thing for me, and I've literally have said these things since my childhood, and, but he's right. Whether I'm kidding around or not, they're still hearing me and they're in turn gonna start doing those things. And I don't want them to be like me in this way, even though, like, especially Addison, she's like, I want to be just like you, mama. And she'll, like, copy things that I do. And I'm like, I don't want you copying everything that I do. So I need to make it a point of not doing that stuff, even though it's so fun to me in my flesh. It's so fun to, like, name call or something like that, even if it's, like, playing around,
Yeah.
but I need to stop doing that, but I think that when, like I said, when we're, being corrected, we automatically, whoop, a wall goes up. I mean, it also depends on, um, the kind of mood you're in. I wasn't in the greatest mood yesterday, so I'm like, "No." Like,
Yeah.
I didn't say it out, like, he was telling me quietly. He's like, You really need to stop that." And I'm like,
Mm,
"No, I
yeah.
don't."
Mm,
Like,
thank you for
I'm
the
gonna
suggestion, but
I'm
no, thank
gonna
you.
double down, but he's right, I do need to stop it. So many things that I have to stop doing, and it's so hard because it's like you're doing something your whole entire life, and the same thing goes with, I think we were talking last week about not cursing, saying bad words, and it's the same thing, like, I've done way better with that. I'm having self-control, so here I go again needing to have more self-control, but what's really difficult about this part that I need to stop is so ingrained in my character, like, who I am as a person, like, being a sarcastic, just silly, like, not taking things seriously all the time. Like, that's gonna be really hard for me to stop doing because I'm just
Yeah.
like a clown. That's, like,
Right.
who I am.
It trickles down though, like you said, because I see it. I don't know, what the Bible says about that, like being sarcastic. I don't even know if it says anything about that. You would know more than me. But I do know that, like, Guy, you know how Guy is. He's very much sarcastic and he's very witty and he's so quick with his comments, and
Same, same.
especially, yeah, yeah. You guys, that's why you get along so well. Um, but, like, Yeah, he's like that with his mom, and they have that relationship. They go back and forth with each other. It's amazing. But Hudson, since he was little, has watched that interaction happen,
Yeah.
and little ones that don't understand the sarcasm, adult sarcasm and things like that, like the whole point of it, he, for a while, was just like grabbing onto the things that they were saying, and he would say it to his own mom, or he would say it to Nana, to Guy's mom, and like, but not in a sarcastic way. Like he didn't know that yet, you know? And it just goes to show you like how much like the little ones pick up on things. So we have to like be really careful and really mindful, like where we think it's maybe harmless. It does go to show you like how much they're watching us.
Yeah. The thing is I feel like I've ramped up my teasing and stuff a lot. Like I don't feel like I was doing this when they were really little. And now Addie does get when it's just kidding around and stuff like that. And if she doesn't think I'm kidding around, she'll be like, "Mom, that's not nice." But I still don't want her to do it even if she knows that it is just kidding. You know?
Right.
I still don't
Yeah.
want her to, because it's not everybody, and again, I don't think that we should have to, I guess, be careful of, like, what we say completely, but then at the same time, we should, not to we don't wanna purposely offend people either. So, like, if someone were to hear her say something in jest and they just didn't get that that's her personality or something, like, I don't want anyone to think badly of her,
That's
or
true.
and then it would look like, "Oh, what's her mother thinking?" Like, kinda thing, and I
Mhm,
don't
like, I wonder
I
what
don't
goes on in that.
necessarily care what other people think either, but it's not Christ-like behavior, ultimately, what it comes down to. It doesn't glorify God, so what's the point? Because we're having fun. It's the same thing about TV shows that we watch, the entertainment. I'm entertaining myself by being silly and obnoxious and name calling. Like, what's the
Yeah.
point?
Yeah.
It's so stupid. But he, like, upset me when he's like, "You need to stop that." I'm like, "Don't tell me what to do, buddy. Don't tell me
Yeah.
what to do."
Well, uh, going back to self-control.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. Okay.
Okay. So I think we've done enough beating ourselves up or maybe venting what we feel guilty about. Hopefully, you other mamas out there find it relatable. You see that you're not alone in things. We are all, you know, living imperfectly but full of grace, like I mentioned in the first episode. And yeah, I don't know if this was helpful. I know it was helpful to Jamie and I. Jamie said she felt lighter.
Yes,
you know,
I do feel
we're
lighter.
gonna be more mindful. Yeah. So that's it. Jamie, have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I wanna end with a word, and, it's just so, like, we're constantly getting overwhelmed with the mom guilt, and I think what's important is that how we react to mom guilt, how we react to not speaking to our children in the best way, but that we have our solid foundation in Christ, and that we are turning that around even though we have a slip up, because we all fall short of the glory of God, that we turn it around and we speak life into our kids. So the word comes from Galatians 6:9 through 10. And it says, "And let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. So then, as we have opportunity, let us do good to everyone, and especially to those who are of the household of faith." Amen.
Amen.
It always makes me feel lighter to read the Bible. So that's a thing too, to make sure we're doing that as often as we can. If you're feeling overwhelmed, just read a word, and it
100%.
helps you feel lighter. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all for tuning in to episode 6. and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. I'm